My name is Doug Jamison. I work for the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, where I manage Superfund in the Brownfields unit in the Hazardous Materials and Waste Management Division. I'm going to talk about the ULA mine during the lunch presentation today, and we worked with Hinsdale County. There have been several other federal agencies involved. BLM has some ownership of this property. There was a private owner involved. The county's looking for a site to develop historic tourism and other recreational opportunities and provide some employment opportunities for county residents. So we've come a long way on that project. It's been tenuous at times. You know, there's a fine line. Can we do this in a cooperative manner, or does this have to be more of an enforcement approach? So to date, we've been really successful, made great project on this site. You know, it's really been in large part due to the willingness of all partners to kind of not set a hard line in the sand and say, I can't cross this. They've been willing to listen to each other and kind of give and take enough that we're really moving forward and making great progress. We've completed some cleanup, hope to complete the additional cleanup in the next year or so, and then after that the counties, they've already taken title to this property, and they're going to do several things to try to redevelop that into a historic tourism industry for the local citizens. You know, there are several projects, and most of our projects are relatively small projects, pretty straightforward, but we do a lot of work with rural governments, and we've done some work with some mountain towns where they've got kind of historic or legacy mining issues and really very few resources to deal with this. And at the same time, they're dealing with kind of limited tax base and looking for ways to improve their overall, you know, economic development. So we've worked with Creed and Hinsdale County on a couple of places where we've been able to provide them brownfields assistance. We've been able to, I wouldn't say we've been solely responsible, but we've been able to facilitate kind of coalition building and just the funding and several project aspects that have really allowed a good project to come to fruition and be implemented. So those are some of the good examples that I can think of. And of course, there's dozens more that are smaller examples, but those are some of the long-term projects we've worked on that have recently gotten a lot of work done. Been doing this job for about 4 years now, but I've been working in the Superfund program for about going on 25 years now, so I've been doing this quite a long time. One of the more interesting things I can remember is when the Brownfields legislation was first passed in Colorado back in 1994. You know, I had been working for several years and kind of gotten used to the regulatory process and kind of the top-down approach. And when this legislation passed in Colorado, I remember thinking, wait, we're not going to oversee people. We're just going to let them certify by themselves. And it seemed preposterous, and it seemed weak, and it seemed like a poor attempt to really kind of deal with problems. But over the years, as I've kind of learned the hard way about the difficulties of getting things done, especially fighting through, you know, a bureaucratic process that, not just a governmental process, but any organization has that kind of bureaucracy you have to fight against. And working in the program for several years, I've really learned this is the greatest thing ever. This is the way, this is an example of how government can do things better. This is more efficient, a little more elegant, it's more cooperative, it's not combative. And so I've really come to enjoy working in the program just because we are able to work with people instead of telling people what has to be done. So that's kind of my biggest enjoyment of the job is be able to work with, you know, we've got a variety of stakeholders. We work with attorneys, we work with consultants, we work with private property owners, and really our overarching goal is to facilitate property transfers and to help redevelopment happen, you know, and all the benefits that go along with those things. So